War Eagle to all the Auburn fans out there. Once again, it's Kennard Vernon Stewart here for the podcast, talking a little Auburn football, especially for my folks that are not in the comfortable confines of Auburn, Alabama, or even the state of Alabama in general. Really like the dialogue, especially in the comment section. Go ahead and like this video, comment, and subscribe to Vernon Speaks Sports Auburn. As always, it's great to be an Auburn Tiger, War Eagle. All right, so for the past few weeks, we're talking about LSU, we're talking about Ole Miss. I think Auburn might be on to something as far as the running back position. I really like DJ Williams. I like Boobie Whitlow as well. I also like Cam Martin, Sean Shivers. I think Auburn is in a very good place when it comes to running backs, especially when you talk about Georgia on the horizon in a week and a half or so, and, of course, Alabama at the end of the season, giving Auburn a really good opportunity from a depth standpoint at the running back position to really be competitive in these games. And I was doing some film review on Georgia and Alabama. I think they're two excellent football teams, but at the same time, when I think about Auburn and their diversity, especially on the defensive side of the football field, I think you got some chances here, especially if Auburn can utilize a guy like, say, DJ Williams. I don't like the running attempts in the A and B gaps, around the center and guard. I really want them to push a little bit more towards the edge with DJ Williams because, for one, most of the college football teams that Auburn will play usually will have a pretty good interior defensive line. I think you're going to have to stretch some guys out a little bit. I think you need to get that zone read going to where, you kind of attack the perimeter, kind of like what they did against Texas A&M, and really give yourself a chance to really, really be balanced against Georgia and Alabama. Another thing I really liked about this Ole Miss game, for example, a lot of folks, I got to catch up and do a live stream or something talking about what we didn't see in the Ole Miss game. There was a whole lot of eye candy in that Ole Miss game where the score just didn't reflect all the accomplishment from the Auburn Tigers in that particular game, which I'm hoping I'll get a chance to talk about it within the next few days. There's no reason why I shouldn't. But either way, when I looked at that game, you talk about a lot of good things happening, especially on the offensive side of the football. I really like the fact that Gus Malzahn was really hell-bent on getting Bo Nix some reps throwing the football. Bo Nix had 340 yards, had over 30-plus attempts, almost 40 attempts. And you could really tell that Bo Nix was starting to start a trend of not bailing so quick. Because there was one play where he hit J.J. Wilson across the middle. Normally, Bo Nix would have bailed on that play. Now, I know the fans will say, well, that's just Ole Miss. Nah, that's crap. You got to improve each game. Every game counts. Every game gives you a certain level of repetition. This is still SEC level competition. So you can't discount the experience that Bo Nix is gaining. I'm really interested to see, especially when Auburn takes on Georgia, how much more poised is Bo Nix going to be in that particular game. I'm really interested in the decision-making because one thing I like is the fact that some more guys started to emerge. You got Will Hastings, who's starting to ease back into the lineup. I'm really impressed with Eli Stove. Eli Stove looked to be in 2017 form. I'm talking about he's really starting to burst around that corner, which lets me know that his knee injury is starting to be less of a factor in his particular gameplay. Now, back to the subject. I'm kind of torn, guys, between whether I would like to see a true freshman in DJ Williams start moving forward over Boobie Whitlow. Not to discount anything that Boobie Whitlow does, but I really like, especially if you're going to do the zone read, I like how DJ Williams attacks the line of scrimmage, which solidifies the fact that he's just a more seasoned running back. Even though Boobie Whitlow has more college experience, DJ Williams has a lot of it. He just seems to be a more prototypical type of running back that Auburn could be looking for. You look at some guys in the past like Trey Mason, Cameron Artis-Payne, Ben Tate. Those are the kind of guys that DJ Williams kind of reminds me of. Even with a little bit of Rudy Johnson from back in the early 2000s. I'm really impressed with what I see from DJ Williams. I think that was a home run recruit for Auburn. His only commitment or only offer was from Appalachian State. He was actually a 2.5-star recruit, wound up getting up to, I think, 3, maybe 4, 4-star recruit. But either way, definitely a diamond in the rough in the 2019 recruiting class, and I think an excellent gain for the Tigers. So who do you get? Who do you want? Which guy would you all rather have? I like DJ Williams. I like his ability to break the long runs. I like his ability to his yards after contact. You know, he usually doesn't go down on the first level of contact, and he has a nice burst of speed in the middle. He doesn't particularly have, say, the breakaway speed like a Michael Dyer or Trey Mason, but he's going to get you those grind yards that you're going to need against teams like Alabama and Georgia to sustain drives. Another thing I really liked about that Ole Miss game is the fact that Auburn was converting on 3rd and shorts. That's something that Auburn had a real problem with, about 63% for most of the season during the year. And I think DJ Williams and Gus Malzahn's willingness to actually call sound plays on those particular situations really helped Auburn in this regard. So I think moving forward, Auburn has a great opportunity to possibly continue Gus Malzahn's streak, as Gus Malzahn has never lost a game coming off a bye week, and a huge win it will be if Auburn could get the win over Georgia, all but solidifying a 9-win season. When I look back and I talked about my projections of this particular season, I thought Auburn needed to have a season similar to what LSU had last year, where LSU went 10-3, won in the, I think it was the Peach Bowl against UCF. That's the kind of season that you were kind of hoping for Auburn this year, especially given their schedule. Now, of course, there were some opportunities. Yeah, Auburn definitely could have beat LSU and Florida, but it didn't happen. And then if you think about it, if you don't lose to Florida with the schedule the way it's set up, if you don't lose to Florida, LSU, you might have lost to Oregon. Or, you know, just given the combination, it was bound to happen. The one loss was bound to happen considering the level of this schedule. But anyway, I really like DJ Williams. I really think DJ Williams is poised to be one of the better running backs that Auburn has had in recent history. He's very, very hard to tackle. And I'm really excited about this Auburn-Georgia game next week. ESPN is actually giving Auburn about a 50% chance to, a little over 50% chance to win this particular game. And one of the reasons that I can think of as to why ESPN would do this is Georgia is doing some things that, yeah, they're 7-1, but they're not being as successful running the football as I would have expected. A high-level Georgia team that has an opportunity to compete and wind up in the college football playoff, excuse me, normally what you will find is 2 running backs that are well over 500 yards apiece. Excuse me. This year you have, you know, DeAndre Swift, who has about 800 yards, but everybody else is really just trailing the pack big time. And Georgia's success is usually found in situations where you have 2 running backs that have about 1,000 yards apiece. And that's something that we're going to talk about more next week as we do our coverage of Georgia and Auburn. That game going to be taking place on CBS, 2:30 Central Time, 3:30 Eastern Time. Not this Saturday, but next Saturday. Obviously, Auburn is on a bye week. Go ahead and like this video, comment, and subscribe to Vernon Speaks Sports Auburn. As always, it's great to be an Auburn Tiger, War Eagle.